This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Good Wednesday morning. Time now is 4:27. I'm Meredith Barrett. We are following a wild confrontation from the northeast side that happened around about 1:30 this morning. This after a man was visiting with a woman when that father of that woman's child shows up. A fight started between the two men, and the father of the child ended up chasing the other man in his car. He then proceeded to crash into a house. This is all near 38th and Post on Alsace Place, and then started shooting at that other man. That other man was hit. He is now hospitalized in critical condition. The father, that suspect, he took off, and police are now searching for him at this hour. We are going to continue to follow this story throughout the morning. But first, we want to get a check at our weather with Alyssa Donovan. A lot of people hitting the roads today for the 4th of July holiday. What can they expect?
So we have the potential of some scattered showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. We actually have a few moving through right now along those northern counties. You can see that on our radar. A lot of that is going to start to diminish in the next few hours here. We can't rule out seeing a little bit of that skate into Indianapolis this morning, but then we will start to see some of those clouds clear out, some peaks of sunshine through about midday, and then we'll start to see that potential of some showers and thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon hours. Temperatures today are going to climb again close to 90 for many of us, possibly hitting 90, and we are going to see those hot and humid conditions as well. And then we're going to kind of continue this setup over the next couple days where we see that sunshine in the morning, and then we see that potential of some convection and thunderstorms again in the afternoon.
All right, Alyssa, thank you. And not what people want to hear as we head into 4th of July. A lot of people have a lot of plans, including setting off fireworks. Now, we want to let you know how to keep you and your family safe while enjoying fireworks. Many people just go and watch them, but some people choose to set them off themselves, as you see here. So our Aaron Lish is going to be with Wayne Township firefighters to talk about how to keep yourself safe if you are going to set off fireworks this 4th of July. And finally, we are in the midst of summer, therefore a lot of summer camps going on. Well, today in our Hiring Hoosiers, we are going to take you to J.A. BizTown, where they are teaching kids to prepare for a career. Yeah, some of these kids only about 10 years old. They're learning what a business loan is. They're learning how to write checks, important things that adults all need to know how to do. These kids, though, are 10 years before they'll enter the workforce. So we're going to learn a little bit more about this camp and why it is so important for so many kids to attend. We've got that story plus news, weather, and traffic here to start your Wednesday.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
A man is shot following an argument on the northeast side. Breaking now at 4:30, what police are saying about the relationship between the suspect and the victim. Plus, residents at a local apartment complex say they are fed up after not having air conditioning for weeks. Working for you, we're taking the concerns to the complex management to get the AC flowing again. Plus, drug driving, an increasing problem on Hoosier highways. Working for you, we have the tips you need to know to keep your family safe. It is 4:30 here on your Wednesday morning. Thanks for starting your day with us. Maybe you have the day off today on this July 3rd. Yes, lucky folks out there. Well, hopefully that means the roadways are clear.
They're pretty quiet right now.
For now, but traffic is going to pick up, and people might want to leave early because we are expecting some rainfall, Alyssa, as the day gets going.
Yes, a similar setup to what we've been seeing the past couple weeks, where we see nice conditions through about midday, and then we have that potential of convection and some afternoon thunderstorms starting. Again, not going to see that widespread, but spotty in nature. So you might see them at your house, but maybe, you know, your friends in another city won't see them in Indiana. So that's what we're seeing today. Again, a warm start today. Humid conditions as well. 74 right now in Indianapolis. So an extremely warm start. It's 75 in Muncie, and those temperatures are going to climb into the upper 80s and low 90s again today with that humidity. So you can see on our radar that just to the north of us, we do have a little bit of convection moving through right around Lafayette and Peru. We're seeing a few thunderstorms. A lot of that activity is going to start to diminish over the next couple hours here. We can't rule out seeing maybe a spot shower or storm moving a little bit south as that system moves through, and then we are going to see things clear out through about midday. Then we are going to see a little bit of sunshine as those clouds clear out as well, and then more chances of showers and thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon. As we hit those daytime heatings and that sunshine moves in, that's when we see that potential of some convection. Now, we do have a small chance of some severe storms as those systems move through. The main threats with those would be the potential for some damaging winds as well as heavy rain that could cause some localized flooding in areas. So today, starting very warm again in the 70s, and we are starting cloudy. We'll see a little bit of a peak of sunshine midday, and then we do have that potential of some showers and thunderstorms this afternoon.
All right, thank you, Alyssa. Not much happening on the roads right now, so no problems, but there are some overnight road work projects that are underway. So the right 2 lanes blocked eastbound 465 right around Allisonville Road, as well as the right 2 lanes closed southbound I-69 around 116th Street. So this is one of those areas that gets pretty heavy just even during normal rush hour traffic. So with these lane restrictions might cause a little bit of backup this morning. Hopefully it wraps up before we head into rush hour today. Let's take a look at these projects right now. Here's a look at I-465 at Allisonville Road. This is actually towards 82nd Street, but you can still see those lane restrictions out there on the roadways. Let's take a turn up to I-69 at 116th Street. Pretty dark, but you can see those cones, those barrels out there restricting the lane. So if any of these are part of your drive, just pay attention when heading out the door.
Elena, thank you. Breaking overnight, one person rushed to the hospital following a fight on the city's northeast side. The argument started around 1:30 this morning on Alsace Place. That's near 38th and Post Road. Police tell us a man was visiting a woman when the father of the woman's child showed up. The father then tried to run the other man over with his car. The victim took off running, leading the suspect to crash his car into a nearby home. The victim tried to take cover from the suspect in that home, but was shot in the doorway. The victim was taken to the hospital in critical condition, and at this hour, police are still searching for that suspect. We are working to get help for a woman who is struggling to get through this heat wave without air conditioning. She tells RTV6 it's not just a matter of being uncomfortable, it's a serious health issue for her son who has asthma.
He's wheezing at night, he's coughing really bad at night, he has to get breathing treatments a lot.
The woman who asked us not to share her identity called RTV6 after repeatedly asking her apartment management to fix the air. She lives in the Greenway complex on the east side of Indianapolis.
Every time we call, we get no response. We've even called blocks a couple times, and they'll answer that call, but they won't answer a regular number, and it's just, they just refuse to fix it. Called the health department. I've made multiple complaints. I haven't even gotten a phone call back. When I reached out to you, you contacted me immediately.
Other people who live in the complex tell RTV6 a lack of air conditioning is a problem in several units. We went to the leasing office to get more details, but we were told the property manager was not in and that we would get a call. We are still waiting to hear back. Heating and cooling at your home could cost a lot more in the future if Duke Energy gets its way. The utility company, which is the largest in Indiana, is proposing a 19% rate hike. If approved, the change would be phased in over 2 years with a 17% increase starting next year and a 2% increase in 2021. The request will go before the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission. The commission will hold public meetings before making a decision. Meanwhile, Indiana and Michigan Power is also proposing rate changes. If approved, I&M's proposal would increase monthly residential electric bills about $23 per 1,000 kilowatt hours. The electric company says the rate hike would help cover increases in operating and maintenance costs. A public hearing is scheduled for 6 p.m. on July 15th at the Pittenger Student Center on Ball State University's campus. Drivers under the influence of drugs is a growing and dangerous trend on Indiana roads, according to a new report. It's a problem Call 6 Investigates Kara Kenny exposed back in May. The Criminal Justice Institute and the IU Public Policy Institute analyzed crash statistics from 2018. They found of the drivers killed in deadly crashes, 45% tested positive for drugs compared to 38% who were alcohol impaired. Will Wingfield with the Indiana Criminal Justice Institute Institute says people are getting the message about drinking and driving, but not about using drugs and getting behind the wheel.
It can be any type of drug, even over-the-counter medications, and it could be combined with alcohol or another drug. So really, if you're taking something new, you need to either see how your body reacts to it or talk to your doctor before you get behind the wheel. That's the most important part.
The Institute is helping to address the problem by securing funding for more drug recognition experts who are trained in detecting when a driver is on drugs. They're also helping to reduce the backlog at the state's toxicology lab so they can process more impaired driver cases. We have tips on how you can spot a drug driver in this story on the RTV6 app. 2 more Indiana counties now report finding mosquitoes carrying the West Nile virus. Health officials here in Marion County and Hamilton County say they have found mosquitoes with the virus for the first time this year. The announcement comes one day after state officials reported mosquitoes in Elkhart and Clark counties tested positive for West Nile virus. No human cases of West Nile virus disease have been detected so far in 2019. About 1 in 5 people who are infected with West Nile virus develop a fever and other symptoms. Good news for 2 elephants at the Indianapolis Zoo. Officials say the pair of African elephants survived a potentially deadly virus responsible for the deaths of 2 other elephants in the herd. Zoo leaders say 12-year-old Zahara and 13-year-old Kadar are both healthy and have beaten the virus. The elephants will continue to be monitored through blood tests. Crane Army ammunition activity in southern Indiana has a new leader this morning. Colonel Stephen Dondero takes over as commander. A traditional swearing-in ceremony was held on Tuesday. Dondero takes over for Brigadier General Michael Garlington, who is retiring after 27 years of service. The new commander says he has big shoes to fill, but he is ready to tackle the role. Nationwide protests are demanding the closure of migrant detention facilities along the Mexican border. Straight ahead, how the issue is prompting lawmakers to double down on immigration reform efforts. Plus, this video of a woman licking a tub of ice cream inside a grocery store has now gone viral. After the break, how the ice cream's manufacturer is now vowing to take action against that woman. Alyssa.
And we are going to continue with that heat as we head through the day today and into the weekend. So many chances of scattered storms in the forecast as well. I'll break down the details and your 4th of July forecast coming up.
RTV6 is working for you.
We are 13 days away from you pitching your great idea. A casting call for the TV show Shark Tank is happening July 16th at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Gates open at 6 a.m. More details are on the RTV6 app and the IndyChannel.com. And here's a look at some of the news expected to make headlines today. The TSA says it expects to screen more than 12 million people over the 4th of July holiday starting today. They say the busiest travel day at the airports is expected to be Sunday. AAA Motor Club expects nearly 49 million Americans to hit the roads, rails, or skies this 4th of July. And the Netherlands and Sweden square off in today's FIFA Women's World Cup semifinal in France. The U.S. will face the winner of today's game in the final on Sunday. It is the U.S.'s 3rd straight appearance in the World Cup title match. From coast to coast, thousands of protesters demanding migrant detention centers be shut down. The public outcry comes after lawmakers reported toxic and inhumane conditions at the border facilities. As ABC's Mona Kosar Abdi reports, a new report from the Department of Homeland Security's own Inspector General depicts what it calls dangerous overcrowding.
Thousands of protesters taking to the streets of major cities across the country, holding signs that read, "Close the camps." The nationwide movement comes after recent accounts of inhumane and unsafe conditions at migrant border facilities.
We need emergency action.
Democratic lawmakers recounting stories of migrants sleeping on concrete floors and rooms without running water after a visit to 2 facilities on Monday. Massachusetts Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley on CNN sharing her experience.
And I asked the doctor at that CBP facility, did he think this was a public health violation?
And this morning, the Department of Homeland Security's own Inspector General is warning of, quote, dangerous overcrowding, sharing these pictures showing some adults packed into standing room only cells for up to a week, and children with no access to showers and limited clothing. DHS responding, saying it treats those in its custody, quote, with the utmost dignity and respect. The report comes as a federal judge blocks the Trump administration's policy to keep asylum seekers detained pending cases, finding it unconstitutional to deny them a bond hearing. Meanwhile, the president is doubling down on his efforts to crack down on illegal immigration, threatening to conduct massive deportation raids in several major cities following the 4th of July holiday if Democrats refuse to change asylum laws. Many of the target locations, sanctuary cities, a designation the president said on Fox News he blames for contributing to, quote, filth in those areas.
It's destroying their city. It's not what our country is all about.
And ABC News has confirmed that ICE officials have began issuing fines of up to $500,000 to undocumented migrants who fail to comply with deportation orders. Monaco Sarabdi, ABC News, Washington.
President Trump will hold a campaign rally just hours after special counsel Robert Mueller's congressional testimony. The Keep America Great re-election rally will be in Greenville, North Carolina on July 17th. Earlier that day, Mueller is set to testify before 2 House committees. That will be the first time he'll answer questions publicly about his investigation into Russian election meddling in President Trump. Mueller's testimony is poised to be the most anticipated congressional hearing in years. The internet is pretty grossed out. Bluebell is looking for an ice cream liquor. Video of a woman licking a tub of Bluebell ice cream, then putting it back in a grocery store freezer has attracted the attention of millions. Bluebell says they are working with law enforcement and say this type of incident will not be tolerated. Some are questioning why the ice cream wasn't sealed. Bluebell said during their production, half gallons like the one in the video are flipped upside down, then sent to a hardening room. Pretty gross, Alyssa, but today will be a good day for an ice cream cone, I'd say. Nice and warm outside.
An unlicked ice cream cone, I'd say.
Yes.
Yeah. It is going to be hot and humid today, and that heat and humidity continues today and into tomorrow. We do have some storm chances this afternoon as well. We're going to continue to see those storm chances nearly every day in the forecast until we hit next week. Then we'll start to see those die down a little bit. And then I also have your 4th of July forecast. Unfortunately, there are some chances of storms in that. Right now, temperatures starting warm this morning, 74 degrees in Indianapolis. Those winds are light out of the southwest, about 6 miles per hour. It is humid to start out. You are going to notice that it's muggy as you step outside today. We also have a little bit of activity to the north this morning, just some showers and thunderstorms moving through. Most of that activity is far north, and it is moving east-southeast, so we can't rule out maybe seeing a few of those showers creep into just northern Indianapolis area this morning. But for the most part, a lot of us are going to stay dry to start out today. As we head through the day, we're going to see that clear out, that convection will die down, and then we'll see a little bit of sunshine as we head into midday. So we're going to see a little bit of cloud coverage to start, a little bit more than what we saw yesterday before we start to see that clear out a little bit. And then as we head into the afternoon and we hit those daytime heatings, we are going to see that potential of a little bit of convection kicking up again. So we are going to see a chance of some scattered showers and thunderstorms this afternoon and into the early evening. So just be aware of that. And again, not going to be widespread, really just hit and miss in nature. And then you can see a lot of that activity moves to the south as we head into the evening hours. Just be aware of that. We do have a small risk of severe weather as we head through the day today. I should say a marginal risk if we do see those storms, potential for some damaging winds as well as some heavy rain that could cause flooding. So that's all from this front, and that's going to continue to impact us over the next few days here. Also continuing into your holiday forecast, we're going to see partly sunny skies throughout the 4th of July, and then temperatures are going to be in the upper 80s. Some areas likely will hit the 90s again, and continuing to see those humid conditions, and then that potential of some storms again in the afternoon and early evening hours. As we head into the weekend, I know a lot of you have plans. Saturday and Sunday, continuing to see those chances of some afternoon showers and storms as we head through the days. Temperatures starting to drop off a little bit, though, into the mid 80s. Today, starting in the 70s this morning. Again, we'll see a few peaks of sunshine as we head into the afternoon, and then those spotty storms are possible later today as that convection rises with that daytime heating. 90 degrees for our high today, 89 for the 4th of July for your holiday forecast, and then we're starting to drop down into the mid-80s as we head into next week.
All right, thank you, Alyssa. Here's a look at I-465 at Keystone Avenue up on the north side. You can see traffic's flowing along just fine. The roads are dry. If you're headed out to go on any road trips, it's a good time to go right now. Get out there early. Let's take a look at the map coming in from this northwest side, heading southbound on I-65 from I-865 to I-70. Should run you about 17 minutes. So if you're making your way out on the roads, traffic's moving along just fine. Let's hope it stays that way today for your road tripping for your 4th of July festivities. Let's take a look at the stretch right now on our live in.traffic camera. For I-65 just south of 38th Street. You can see the roads are dry right now, so as you're making your way, should be an easy drive.
Elena, thank you. A Texas teen is honoring a friend killed in the line of duty. We'll show you his remarkable memorial after the break. Plus, the 4th of July holiday is tomorrow. Coming up all new at 5, our Aaron Lish is breaking down the tips you need to know to keep you and your family safe around fireworks. But first,
I'm Vinny Politan. Today on Court TV, intense drama inside the courtroom because a jury of 12 ordinary citizens in that courtroom to decide the ultimate question, life or death for a convicted killer. Scott Nelson has already been convicted by this jury in the death of a nanny down in Winter Park, Florida. Now they're listening to testimony to determine whether or not they should give him and recommend the ultimate punishment for this crime. We are live in Orlando all day long. It's Florida versus Scott Nelson.
And don't forget, you can watch the all-new Court TV live on your mobile device by visiting CourtTV.com. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on RTV6. We'll be right back.
Terribly exciting. That's why we do it.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Time now for 54. Here's a look at I-65 at the North Split. Traffic's moving along just fine both directions. Should be an easy drive if you're making your way out the door.
Elena, thank you. The king may be the most important piece on the chessboard, but this piece, equivalent to a rook, is more than likely one of the most expensive pieces from the game. The London auction house Sotheby's sold this antique chess piece for $929,000 Tuesday. The Lewis Warder is considered to be one of the most famous chess pieces in the world. Only 93 pieces like this one have been found. According to Sotheby's, experts believe it was carved between the late 12th and early 13th centuries in Norway. An antiques dealer bought the medieval piece for $6 in Scotland in 1964 and kept it in a drawer for 55 years. Not a bad deal there. A 95-year-old American hero walking across America, Ernest Andrus, who is a Navy corpsman in World War II, is walking across the country on foot for the second time. He started in St. Simons Island, Georgia on March 16th and plans to make it through every U.S. state. The last time it took him 2 years. Right now he's covering 13 miles a week and says he would be 100 by the time he's done. But Andrus said he'll keep going for as long as he has to, and he's doing so with a clear purpose in mind.
To know that freedom is not free and what it takes to keep this country free. We were called on to do our part. The generations before us all had to do their part. And the future generations are probably going to have to do their part.
You can learn more about Ernie's run at coasttocoastruns.com. A fallen soldier is being honored in Texas in a very unique way. Just take a look. A teen says he mowed the lawn to resemble the American flag to remember Kevin Christian. According to Military Times, the 21-year-old died Sunday from a self-inflicted gunshot wound while patrolling the U.S.-Mexico border. Cameron James says he knew Christian through the Boy Scouts.
Last year, my dad wanted me to do this, to celebrate 4th of July. And then this year, just last week, one of my best friends from scouting died in the Army. Well, he was just a really good friend, and once again, he was a role model for me. So I really wanted to make sure that he was missed by even people who didn't even know him.
It took the 17-year-old about 4 hours to make the flag. He put the mower on different settings and used a weed eater to finish the job. And this is a good reminder, Alyssa, as we head into 4th of July, to check on your veteran friends.
Yes.
Fireworks can oftentimes bring out symptoms of PTSD and impact those who have been on the front lines. So a good time to just check in on them and make sure they're doing okay.
Yes.
Let's get a check at the weather now.
So we are going to see chances of showers and storms as we head into the afternoon. A little bit of sunshine midday, and then we have that potential for some convection later today. 90 degrees for our high, and we're going to continue that pattern for the 4th of July as well and into Friday before we really start to see that humidity die down. We are back into the 80s for next week.